Hello YouTube, this Skip, coming to you live, straight out of Real Hard Cichlids Aquatic Kennels. In this video, we're going to talk about the Amphilophus hogaboomera and its mysterious history. But before we get started with part 5 of this video series, I would like for you to direct your attention to the description area below this video, where you will find links to purchase books and other Real Hard Cichlid merchandise. In addition, I would like to thank all of you who supported me throughout the years. So let's get started, because I know some of you guys are anxious to hear why I say mysterious history. Now, I say this as you view this photo from Don Coker's book, Cichlids of North and Central America, which I believe was published back in 1993. What makes this illustration so important to this discussion is the resemblance of the Euthymus, which makes me wonder why show this illustration to describe the hogaboomera instead of some other amp species. Now, before we dive a little deeper into this subject matter, I would like for you guys to take a moment to check out this basic information about this particular species. Check this out. I find it very interesting that this fish is described to look very similar to the Amphilophus armadillo during breeding dress. The colorations are similar. Take note of that, because that's going to come into play later on in this discussion. And I also find it very interesting that the habitat that the hogaboomera is found in is in rivers, both fresh and brackish water. So let's take a quick look at this species collection point, Honduras, the Rio Chocolteca. Okay, now that we covered the basics, allow me to share with you a story a former pet store owner told me years ago about this particular species. You see, one day I was walking in Lurie's Fish Bowl, a local pet store in my old neighborhood when I was younger, and I saw this beautiful cichlid. So I asked the owner, "What kind of fish is this?" He said it was a hogaboomera. Then I said, "What? What on earth is that?" He stated, "It's a rare cichlid found in southern North America on the borders of Central America." Now, mind you, this was back in the mid to late 90s. So then he proceeded to tell me a story about this fish going into extinction. And they only had like 4 specimens, and they all were females. Now let's fast forward to present date. When I look at today's hogas, they look more like a Centralilum subspecies and less like the fish I saw in the pet store back in the 90s. You see, the fish I saw back in the 90s looked more like a Mayan Cichlid, a Euro, and had a little Centralilum characteristics as well, sort of like an armadillo. So let's take a look at the Euthymus, aka the Mayan Cichlid, so we can get a visual of what I'm explaining to you guys. Let's look at these two species in contrast with one another. This is a hogaboomera. This is a Mayan Cichlid. Now, do you see any similarities between the two species besides of the color factor and bars? Check this out. I took the liberty to do some genetic research on a hogaboomera, and I found some amazing similarities between it genetically and the Euro. It's funny how both of these fish can tolerate high levels of salt in fresh water, such as brackish water and slightly above. Now, mind you, there is nothing unusual for cichlids to be able to tolerate brackish water and water with high levels of salt content. We have examples of African cichlids and others that can do it. But that's a trait you usually don't find in Amphilophus species, but you can find it in the Amphilophus hocoboomera. And you also can find it in a Euro, aka Mayan Cichlid. Check this out, folks. I'm not here to convince you that I'm right about this species. This video was made to encourage you to think for yourself and do your own research. And maybe, just maybe, we can find out the truth together. Now look, the fish I saw back then looked more like a Mayan cichlid. And I say this because the mouth region. The original Hoga lower jaw protruded upwards similar to the Mayan. It was not as rounded like the ones we see today, as in this example you see right before you. They also had a higher arcing body that slendered up towards the dorsal fin. Not like this fish you see, who looks more like a centronellum than anything else. Now, I do have to say, other than those things I just mentioned to you, the Hogas I see today do pretty much meet most of the breed standards. Their body is not as girthy as most true amps. The colors and the bars are on point. But check this out. They also have that big round dot right at the end of where the tail meets the flesh. Similar to what fish? I'm not even going to mention it. Now it's time to turn the page on this video series, Understanding Amphilophus Cichlid Species Genetics, Part 5. As this video comes to an end, I would like to thank you for your support and your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that notification bell if you subscribe to my channel. And with that said, this Skip, I'm out.